What's going on, everybody? It's all about comics, and everybody's been calling them episodes. I'm going to call it number 2. This is all about comic number 2.
Two.
So, today it is just 4 of us, for once. It's going to be myself, MercWith AMouth. Look at that. There goes the echo.
What echo?
There's the echo.
Who's got
Boom.
the echo?
That would be me. So there's going to be the 4 of us here. It's me, myself, MercWith AMouth, Comicfan, and Biggie's Comics. So if you guys don't know, in the original showings of 4 Awesome Guys, we actually did an interview with Biggie's and Comicfan. So we brought them back together again, Ebony and Ivory. They love each other. And we wanted to go ahead and get this whole thing going. We don't have Sean today. Sean is actually getting hair plugs put in. He didn't like the fact that he was, getting a little light up front. He was comb over wasn't doing it no more. So he's getting some hair plugs put in.
I thought he was dyeing his hair also.
He said he was on the fence about it. He was thinking like a nice magenta blue red. But I don't know. Not sure though.
That could clash with his baseball tee that he wears all the time.
Well, I was either thinking that or his picnic table T-shirt.
Ah, yes, classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
no, there's rules of accessorizing.
There really is stripes, vertical, horizontal. Slimmer. So today we're going to be talking about the art of comic book trading, and also how comic books, the modern stuff, has gone from us to going out and getting a bunch of them because they were decent to a lot of people now going to saying, fuck that puto, we're going to go ahead and just get back issues. So, yeah, that's topic of the day. So, Merc,
Yes.
how you doing?
I'm doing. How you doing?
I'm doing. Where you been? Got any updated news for us?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
Oh, is it top secret?
It is top secret.
It's above your pay grade.
It's above our pay grade, even though he does order pencils and fucking paper clips.
Yep.
Just had to let everybody remind everybody that.
I just want people to think
Biggie's
that I do that. But yeah.
That's what you do. Well, I've seen your paperwork. I've seen your MOS. Okay, I've seen you.
I've seen your
Biggie's, how you
office.
doing over there?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I'm happy to be on the show. Good to see my boys, and I'm ready.
Good.
Let's get it on. Yeah.
Glad you're here. We needed some fillers, so we got the filler issues.
Hey, that's all right.
But you know
I
what?
love filler issues.
You guys are also key because you guys were there from the start. Remember? Yeah. See.
Right. We were kind of part of the OGs at one time, but we kind of left the flock and branched off. We sprouted wings, huh, Biggie?
Yeah,
That's
but
right.
you know what? Frost was on my first live show also.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah.
I had to make my pizza there.
I was about to choke, and Frost came in and saved the day.
No, you weren't gonna choke.
I was about to run out to what to say, and then Frost said, "I said, Frost, you want to jump on?" He said, "Hell yeah, God." That was like a relief.
That's funny. Freddy's, what's happening in the chat? We got Freddy's already up in there.
All right, Freddie.
So, Joe, how you
Good
doing
to see
today?
you, man.
How you doing, Joe?
I think the real question is, how you doing?
I'm Joey Lawrence.
I went to a flea market today, got a stack of books. Everything is good in my world, man. Believe me, I'm ecstatic, man. Every time I come back with some dollar hauls, like the whole world is in sync. I'm like, oh, thank you, comic gods.
And that's when we get our beautiful humble hauls.
Exactly, but I'm not gonna tell everybody they only cost me $1. But
here's
no,
the bad thing is like when you get in your car, you told us the sound that you made. How does it sound?
When I got what?
Whenever you get in the car after you get your amazing deals, you always make a certain sound.
What kind of sound was that? I refresh my memory.
It was something like,
Oh,
Took off. I get it.
get in my car and I pretty much.
The evil laugh. So, I too got some packages in the mail today. So,
Yeah.
a couple
You've had a
generous.
good week.
I have had a good week. A couple good generous YouTubers have gone ahead and hooked me up with a couple books that I was looking for. I will name them. One is Huey's Comics. Huey's, I did get your book. And Marky316, he hooked me up as well. So I got your books today's too. So
Fine gentlemen.
they're both fine gentlemen. Check them out. Marky316. He should really change his name to the Ranting Marky316.
Yeah, it has
so.
a good ring to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have Hugh's Comics, man. Blaster Stash it. Check them out. So we're gonna get into this. So the modern comics, right? They're being written by decently good writers, being drawn by some pretty good artists. But they keep rebooting titles. They keep rebooting stuff. I know when I first started collecting comics, this is just recent. So this is something coming from somebody who's more recent into comics. I was collecting them. I was enjoying them. And I was happy that I was able to collect a number one, right? I was able to start a run. But then Marvel decided to do, what was that? Secret Wars? Civil Wars? Civil Wars. Because I started at Secret Wars. Then it went into Civil War, right? So they re-upped to a number one. And then, I was collecting Spider-Gwen. Spider-Gwen went up to 5 issues, right? 5, 6 issues. Then dropped off and then went back to 1 again. I'm like, what was the fucking point of that? You should have just kept it moving, but they went to number ones. Now for DC's only rebirthed, no pun intended, once since I've been around with them. They've only came up with number one, so I'm not too worried about that. Because some of that rebirth stuff is actually decent. It's not bad, it's decent. And where I'm seeing the trend, and that myself included, of not getting modern books is more towards the Marvel side. And some of the rebirth, because some of the rebirth isn't good. Now, I know I don't really buy any more Marvel. There's nothing good in Marvel right now. Nothing. Except for maybe the Thanos. But that just came out, and that was a quick bullshit. I mean, if you read it, it was a quick 3-minute read. Most of it was Thanos going through whooping ass, taking names.
Thanos does best with limited series. I'll give you that. I think that's probably his place, to be in event stories and to have limited series. For him to carry a full-blown series, he does make so much destruction and leave so much in his path that a series like his is not going to last.
No.
It's only he's going to blow stuff up to the point where there's almost nothing left. But anyway,
Exactly.
I will agree with you that Marvel, they're slipping, and everybody knows it. It's old news already.
Mm-hmm.
Rebirth, everybody knows it's kicking ass. If you've seen the Comicfan statistics, I think Marvel's best-selling issue or title is number 14 or 25, if I remember correctly, and that's with Spider-Man. And that's nothing under our control. It's just what people are shifting to. If people are noticing that rebirth is actually good, people are gravitating towards that, and good. They have reason to do so. Marvel, like I said, is slipping. They need to find another formula, but that's a little off topic.
They for me they slipped off big time when All New Marvel Now rebooted, when they started back in last September. I was heavy into it. I was collecting Squadron Supreme. I started the All New Wolverine. I started Guardians of the Galaxy. I started Old Man Logan. I started the Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Right.
I collected Amazing Spider-Man. I was doing about six to seven titles, and
You're into it.
yeah, big time. And now I consider myself now a more DC person. I flop back and forth between the two. To me, it's whoever interests me at the time. And at the time, Marvel was strong. They did good with the Miles Morales. The story was something new, something fresh. It touched with the topics of today. It's like, for example, one of the issues when they got to see Miles Morales' suit rip, and they figured out that he was black, and then they made a big thing like, oh, the Spider-Man is an African American,
Mm-hmm.
So that was something that touches in today's world or whatever. So it was cool. And oh no, Wolverine, I was skeptical like everybody, her taking the mantle of Wolverine, and I enjoyed it. The series was good. What killed for me Marvel, where I stopped all their titles, is when everything started tying into the Civil War 2.
Right.
Civil War 2 was a series that it made you hate Captain Marvel because she was just hunting everybody just because of that Inhuman Ulysses was saying, okay, this person's going to kill that one, or he's going to do that. And then for no reason at all, they would go and hunt them down. And that made her unlikable. Right. And Marvel also did a really messed up job on promoting a Civil War 2 because they didn't let people know that the reason that he was getting those visions is because he was being manipulated. He was being manipulated by Captain America, but they didn't let you know that. You would have to be reading Captain America Steve Rogers to find that out.
So is that driving you? Is that driving you back to the back issue bits like we'd all said that?
Yeah, I stopped because all their titles became boring. Everything was just, it was just talking back and forth between all the titles. There was none of the titles had their individual stories to me anymore. They were more like just tying into what's going on with Civil War. They made the whole thing to me boring.
Right, and like right now, what we're talking about is Marvel and DC. We haven't even really touched base on the other, like Image or Boom Studios or Omnipress. We haven't really touched into those. And with,
Image doesn't reboot.
Well, see, this is where I'm going with that. We're going to talk a little bit about the independent, quote unquote. We'll say, Image stuff. A lot of the Image stuff we get, though, we'll get some really good stuff, but it's a limited series. Then we'll get some decent stuff that's ongoing coming out of Image. And for me as a collector, I don't want to keep going out and having to grab a previews book and seeing what the fuck's coming up and be like, oh, okay, this is coming up. And then get that and then find out it's only a 4-issue run. Now I got a whole short box to long box full of these independent short fucking runs where I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous. Why do I have all that? I would like to have a short box that's consistent of one title. You know what I mean? Like back in the day when you did have Marvel running from issue 1 to fucking a billion or a billion, whichever, if you're Italian. One of the two, you know what I mean? Like that's why I can't.
To be fair though, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but you can't.
No, be fair.
You can't say like Image doesn't reboot. Image cannot reboot because they don't have a universe. They don't have a universe.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't have a universe.
Image does have a universe. Image is its own universe.
No, but the Image.
Okay. So what he's saying, Image does have the universe, which is consists of Spawn, Savage Dragon. Those
Invincible.
Are the only two. Invincible's not part of it. Invincible's not part of it.
Yes. Because Savage Dragon is part of Invincible.
Did he come into Invincible?
Yes.
He did.
Okay.
I'll even show you.
Is The Walking Dead in that universe? Is Revival in that universe? No,
because that's the superhero universe.
It's not. Is Postal in that universe? It's not. But even Marvel and DC's non-superhero stories are still in the same universe.
Right.
Right.
Savage
so what are the chances of all of those coming together and having a crossover? They've all on different planes. Well, yes. And how recent is that?
This was a very long time ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
that's
like 04.
That's kind of like three characters out of that. You know what I'm saying? They don't.
Well,
really
they had
have
Darkhawk. They had.
They
had a lot of people in Invincible show up.
They don't really have. They don't really have one, bro. It's not DC. It's not Marvel.
That taken into account,
Where they have 15 different universes, you're right. They have one continuity universe. So yes, you're correct.
Okay, so with that taken into account, what is driving you to the back issue bins? And stop regarding taking into account all that's new.
For me, what's driving me to go back issues is the way comic books were written back in the day. I feel were written for the reader, and to have the event come, for everything to come out into play while you're reading it and looking at the art. Back then, it was more, for me, back then, it was more the writing than the artwork. Now, when you go and you pick up a Marvel book or a DC book or an Image book or Omnipress, so on and so forth, when you pick it up, it's more geared towards a digital comic, right? It's more artwork than writing. So you can go through a brand new book in less than 5 minutes. There's somebody who was just talking recently, I think it was Jared Osborne, was just saying that he was able to pick up a new issue of like Invincible and read it within 5 minutes, and it's done and over with. You can move on with your day and still do all kinds of shit. Back in the day, when you picked up a Bronze Age, a Silver Age, you go read that book, you're going, oh shit, stop, grab yourself a cup of coffee, a donut, come back, put some gloves on, and then go back and read it again, and keep finish reading, you know what I mean? And then what's insane is with the older stuff is you'll get that. So this reference that it was just said is in issue number 22 of Squadron Supreme. Go check that out, and you'll understand what's going on with that reference.
Yeah, they cited
that. And then there's the narrative stuff where the guy's just walking down the street. They don't give you a word bubble of him talking. No, they give you a little narrative box.
No.
So he walked down the street and he had a good time.
Yeah, we were talking about with GenePaulAcePeter about, and he brings up an interesting subject. I'll give a nod to him since he's not here. A heavy nod to GenePaulAcePeter. In the Hangouts, he's starting to state that current issues do not have word bubbles, and this is what you're referring to, correct? Mm-hmm. No word bubbles on the covers anymore. You don't get a feel to be sucked into the story. Mm-hmm. What you see is a great picture on most covers now, and I can't dispute that fact. I can't debate it. Variants have striking covers, and rightfully so. That's how you're going to capture an audience. By all means, do so. But the day, this is how we got sucked into a story. Not only amazing artwork, but also dialogue before we even started the story. Exactly.
I mean, it's amazing how back in the day when you had something like that. I mean, and it's funny you pull that up, right? And this is one of my favorite writers and artists is Eric Powell, right? And this right here shows what we're talking about. And this is a modern book. There's a word bubble right there, and you're hearing Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that's the bottom line. Stone Cold says it. Now, when you see this, you read that, you're like, that's pretty funny. I got to pick that up. But if you go and you pick up a book that's just like, I got a little short box right here. Let me see what book's in here.
Spider-Man Deadpool also has word bubbles on the cover.
Come back.
Well, that's also Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness. They do what they want to do.
I mean, all this is going to say that's a dope cover. I'll buy that. But you have no clue what's going to happen on the inside.
Some people may not get farther than that, though.
Exactly. And that's where I think it sucks for a lot of collectors that they're just going for a cover. Let's read. And I'm not saying that everybody has to read. I'm not. No way in hell am I going to tell people, read your fucking comics. You don't have to read your comics. But I mean, it just kind of sucks when you picked up this book. You spent your hard-earned $3.99 on a book for the front. You might as well just collect artwork. Just grab the single artwork panels that you can go ahead and pick up. It's just a bummer.
Well, that's okay.
It's okay.
So, no, I mean, Biggie's. Well, I'll tell you what's driving me. What's driving me to go back to the back issue bins. I don't read a whole lot of modern stuff. I have read some, I have what I like and what I don't like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But to tell you the truth, modern for me, you know, I cut my teeth on some of these books. I went into a shop, being probably the oldest of the group here. I cut my teeth on Bronze Age, you know, and as a kid, you know, trying to spend my leftover lunch money, I couldn't buy every single book, you know. So with me being older and getting bit by the comic collecting bug again, I'm still trying to chase what got me to comics in the first place. So I'm still trying to fill runs, still trying to get key issues, which I may never ever finish. You know, so I have a budget, and if my budget's going to go towards modern comics or still getting what I like, it's going to go towards back issues.
Right. You know, and crazy. I was actually just talking with Punisher 88 the other day, or last night, as a matter of fact, and he was telling me he has a Grail that he wants to get. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, and I explained to him, I was like, you know, what I kind of did, you know, to get one of my Grails was I cut the pull list that I had. I went ahead and took that money that I would have normally spent on those 6 comic books, put that money to the side each week. You know, say you had 6 books each week that you were paying for. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people go out every Wednesday and they pick up like 6 or 7 comic books. That's damn near $20, $30 each week. That shit adds up. And when you go ahead and you grab that money, you put it all together, save up 2 months worth of every week comic books, you can grab that key, your Grail. You know, I mean, it's simple. It's simple mathematics when you think about it. You know what I mean? And it sucks because when you go and you want to complete that new modern run, you're like, oh, I want to complete it. But are you really enjoying that story? I mean, again, I think it was Jared Osborne. Again, the other day, we were talking to him. He was saying the way he judges how he's collecting or keeping his books is he goes by, am I going to read that again? If I'm not going to read this again, I don't need it. So my thing is if you read the first 2 issues and you're still going, ugh, should you keep collecting that modern thing? Or should you go to what you like I don't know, Strange Tales, Tales to Astonish,
Journey into Mystery.
X-Men, Journey into Mystery, Uncanny X-Men from the Bronze Age, you know what I mean? Like, or the old Batman stuff. Should you just say, forget it, drop your modern stuff, and go with what you do know is good?
Yeah,
what do you guys think?
I agree with him. You guys all know I cut down my pull list tremendously because I was getting multiple Rebirth titles, Batman, Action Comics, Detective Comics, Titans, Flash, Wonder Woman, and I said to myself, that's too much. I really want to focus more on back issues because once you get a certain age and you collect a certain way, you want, I don't know, maybe it's just me thinking about this, but I want quality in my boxes. You know what I mean? And all these modern books, I'm never going to read them again after I read them once. So I understand what Jared is saying. So that's why I stopped the Batman run. I stopped the Action Comics run. I stopped Detective Comics. I stopped Titans. I stopped Wonder Woman. The only one I'm keeping right now is Flash, All-Star Comics. All-Star Batman. And I'm gonna finish DK3, and then my Independence. You know, my Independence. So I'll always keep those on there because me and my wife both enjoy The Walking Dead. So that'll be on it. I'm collecting the Kong series by Boom Studios. I thought it was gonna be just a 6-issue series, but now it's gonna be ongoing. So I'm gonna just at 6 issues. I'm gonna stop it also.
Okay.
And 4 Kids Walk in a Bank. I have that on my pull, and I have Hillbilly on my pull. But that's about it. You know, it's too many. It's like Jared said. There's too many books that I'm never gonna go through again. So why, you know, with Rebirth alone, I have 2 short boxes full of Rebirth already.
Right.
And Rebirth how long Rebirth came out? Not long ago.
Holy shit!
They're up to like 10 issues now.
12. Like some of them are up to 13. That's the thing.
Yeah, and I have double covers for them. I have the regular cover and I have the variant of each of them. So you're talking about I got literally 23 issues already of Batman, 23 issues of Flash, 23 issues of Action Comics. You're talking almost 200 books already. You know, and and even though they're $2.99, they're every other week. So,
that's really like $6.
That's where they get you. That's where DC is getting everybody right now.
They're buying it, but it's good stuff. People are saying it's good.
It is good.
I just finished reading up to issue 9 of The Flash, and I'm like, yo, this is fucking good. Yeah. Like, I'm digging it. It hurt me to stop it. Well, I stopped the variants. I'm just picking up just now the regular issue, the regular cover, just to save a little money. But it's really, I'm enjoying it. I love the storyline because the whole thing with Rebirth was they took what was good about the past and brought it to current day. Right. And what I enjoyed back in the day when I was reading Flash. It's the way they're writing it now.
Well, Payne said it. I'm looking at the comments here. Payne said it. Modern comics are written for trades. That's what they are. I mean, and that's another thing.
You get the 5-issue miniseries basically inside of an ongoing series.
And makes sense. And that's another thing about how I feel about the older stuff. I like the fact that some of this older stuff I can go read, and it's a one and done story. And then you move on to the next, and you have another story. It's one and done. Possible, another issue. But what's good is they could do a story. Say you had Captain America and Iron Man. They went ahead. They did their story. Boom, 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 boom. It finished, but it also continued. In say this was Tales of Suspense. Then it turned around and went to Tales to Astonish, right? But that story that you read in Tales of Suspense did end in that issue. And then it kept going in another issue where you had to figure out the ending part of that one. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Like, there were separate stories that were still continued stories. They weren't like a 5-issue arc. You know what I'm saying? So you weren't obligated to buy 5 issues to figure out who Godspeed is. You know? I mean, it's crazy now that comic books aren't written for the collector. They're written for the money. Yeah, and it's kind of a bummer.
If that's the case, I mean, like I was actually thinking about it earlier today because I met up with Silos today and I was at his LCS and I was looking at all the trades and I'm like, man, I should just cut Modern Comics and just buy them in trades when they come out, so I can, like, if there's something I want to read, and just focus strictly on back issues, on bronze, silver, and golden age back issues.
Now I challenge you to do this: if you go ahead and you grab a trade and you read it. Now I've done this multiple times and I've just shook my head. You grab a trade of a modern series, I guarantee you'll be done with that trade in less than an hour.
Yeah, it's true. Less
than an hour. And then you'll sit back and really think, like, wait a minute, how many fucking issues was this? It was 6 issues. I went through 6 issues in less than an hour, and my money was spent that fast. That was $20 that I spent on a trade just to go ahead and read 6 issues in less than an hour. Dude, that's like sitting there going ahead paying $200 for the best hooker in the world and only lasting 3 minutes.
That's an interesting analogy.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's shit. I mean, would you want to pay for that? No, you might as well get that ugly toothless bitch off the fucking corner and bust in 2 minutes, and then it'll cost you $5.
The bi-weekly issue.
Right, get the bi-weekly bitch. You know
the monthly issue.
You know what I mean? So it's really shitty. Right. 2 more weeks, I get head. No, I get the conclusion of this. I'm just saying, like, it's just ridiculous how this modern stuff is working, and I seriously think if everybody who is reading this stuff, which some people are saying they're really good, but a lot of people are complaining about it, then also a lot of people are going to just back issues. If more, this is something that a person used to say, and it was smart. I mean, it's logic. It's not because he was a POS, but it was real shit. If everybody doesn't buy a book or doesn't buy that series, eventually the price will go down and they'll stop making shit, right?
That's a hard lesson to learn, man. It takes a lot for that to happen. Me being I'm not saying a victim, but I'll put it in this case, a victim of the 90s. I saw this happen before where Marvel did things twice a month. And they started in with the chromium covers, the flashy stuff, the stuff that Marky likes. But, we saw it come to a head to where people stopped getting used to gimmicks, and they said, well, okay, it's all flashy, it's all cool, it's pretty, it's nice, it attracts me, but what else is there inside? And people started, I think at that time, in my age, they started developing lives. They started going out. They came of age, started starting families, and they lost track of what they liked, and they had to stop collecting for a while and live life a little, and then come back to what their passion was. So really, it wasn't so much the flashy covers. It was maybe the fact that they weren't getting their money's worth.
Right.
Yeah, they still make flashy covers now. Look at all the.
See, and this is what I'm coming to.
Yeah, it's called variants.
You're starting to see it again, to where you're starting to see that twice a month. You're starting to see the flashy covers, the things that attract you to these things, but inside they're lacking because with twice a month things, something has to give. It's either going to be the artwork or the writing. So far, DC is keeping afloat. I can't guarantee that. Neither can DC. Guarantee that it's going to stay that way.
Well, so with these variants, right, that they're doing now, do you guys think they're appealing to the perverted side of us males by doing all these flashy female covers?
I mean, look at Adam Hughes. I hate to say it, as good as Adam Hughes is as doing variants, he wouldn't have made it in the Bronze Silver Age of comic books. With as long as it takes him to do covers. He wouldn't have made it.
Adam Hughes?
Because he wouldn't have been able to develop his style. Because it takes him months to do
it's not so much
two covers.
It's not so much him.
Even J. Scott Campbell.
He started out in the Maze Agency, I think in the 90s actually, if I do believe so. And with an artist like that, it's not just him doing the artwork. I truly believe that his colorist, the person that puts the colors, brings to life his artwork. It's not all him.
I think Adam Hughes does his own coloring.
Not that I recall.
No, somebody else does.
You know what? I was saying, I touched on this a couple of my shows back. To me, my opinion, and I'm probably going to get hate about this, but Adam Hughes is highly overrated. And without his colorist, he ain't shit. Because what makes his drawings look good is not his fucking pencil work. It's the tone of like when he draws the ladies and things like that flush paint that looks like it comes at you.
No,
That's
I will
what
agree.
makes his drawing. Other than that, he's just as good as anybody. He's not special. Without that colorist is who makes him.
If he did sketch covers, you might think differently, but that's not what he's doing.
And I've seen his sketch covers, and they're crappy as hell.
And this is what's funny was when I went and got a signature by Dragata for Merc. I was talking to Dragata about one of the panels in East of West #1, right? And I was like, I love how you drew this. This was amazing. And I showed him the panel, and it was basically Death. There's a picture of Death's eyes and how blue they were, and just how, it was just beautiful. And he goes, well, that's not contributed to me. That's actually contributed to the colorist. He's an amazing colorist. That's who really made that scene. And then that made me think, who's really the artist? The guy who drew it or the fucker who colored it to make it what it is? I mean,
they both have to coexist.
They both have to coexist.
It takes two to tango.
You can't have one without the other.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I think it was we were talking about it, Sean, GENEPAULACEPETER, myself, and I think Joe. I think you were there when we were talking about Kirby's artwork. Where Kirby's artwork as a sketch, there was so much there, and it was so detailed, and it was amazing. But then when the colors came through, it watered it way down.
Yeah, that's the exact example is almost the exact opposite, where one can have an opposite effect on the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so it's crazy. Well, we touched on that. Marvel, you suck right now. Figure it out. DC, calm down with your doubles. Image, I guess stay doing what you're doing. Let's talk about the art of trading. Let's talk about that. And words you want to not, you kind of want to steer clear from when you're trading. Because you'll know when sometimes your trade is dead when a person says, well, let me think about it and I'll get back to you.
Why don't we start like the beginnings of a trade rather than the endings of a trade?
Okay, let's start with the beginnings.
Okay, let's say there's a book you want. There's a book somebody else has. You want that. They want what you've got. All right, we'll start it off with that. I did a trade where normally this is my rules of trading, and it could be loosely interpreted. I will normally make a trade rule that I have to trade up and not trade down. Meaning that if I were to trade, let's say I want a Silver Age book, I don't trade Silver Age for Modern Age. Let's say I don't, if Silver Age is what I want, somebody wants Modern Age, fine, it can be worked out. But normally, as a rule, I don't trade Silver Age to get Modern Age. Unless it's like something I really, really need. That is a rule I tend not to break. That's just one of my rules. But if someone wants to add to what they show as a basis for their trading, please go ahead.
I mean, it depends on what era it's from. If it's Silver Age, I'm not real too picky. As long as the cover's attached, there's no pop staples, nothing's cut out, I'll take any grade in a Silver Age. I am just like Joe and Sean when it's and you, Comic Fan, no grade or low grade's better than no grade. Right. I'm fine with that because in the end I can always upgrade.
Exactly.
When I have the money.
But what Joe's saying is he's not going to trade down. So you have a Silver Age, right? And I have a Modern Age book, and I'm like, yo, I'll trade you this Modern Age book for that Silver Age book. He's like,
Joe would say no.
No, I'm good. I'm not going to trade down for that. You know what I mean?
Well, then I also have my favorites of who I like to trade with, and I will break that trade rule. So it's not concrete.
But I mean, like for me, I avoid variants. That's one thing I won't trade anymore. I won't trade for a variant.
Right.
I don't care what the variant is. I will avoid variants because what they're worth today is not what they're going to be worth tomorrow.
Now that's
a variant could be worth 150 right now. Tomorrow it could be a dollar variant.
Now you're saying you won't trade for variants now, right?
Anymore.
Okay, because I was going to say, you traded for variants back in the day.
Oh, we lost him.
He said, go fuck yourself, Frost. I don't want to talk to you.
I don't like your tone.
I don't like your tone, Frost. I don't like your tone.
He said, what? Trying to call me out?
Right.
The trade is over.
Right. Merc with a mouth out.
That's right. He said, I'm out of here. You put me on the spot, you son of a bitch.
What will you trade for?
All right. Me, I'm kind of, I would trade a Modern for a Silver Age. It all depends on the book. To me, to be honest, I hold value in what the book is valued at. Like, for example, let me give you an example. Amazing Spider-Man 300. That's a Modern book.
Yeah.
Will I trade a Golden Age or a Silver Age book for it? Hell yeah. I would want that book. So I would give up something older for that book, even though it's modern.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, man. No. Go ahead. No.
Yeah. So it all depends on just how bad I want the book.
Yeah.
Do I want it more than my oldest book?
Right.
Then I would do it. And it also depends on who I'm trading with. It makes a big deal too to me. Someone that I'm closer to, that I'm friends with, I would take a loss because that's what friends do for each other.
Sure. Yeah, that's great.
But I don't have like a specific rule. To me, it's just on how bad I want that book.
Right. Yeah. Now, no, you're saying how bad you want the book. Now, say you have a book I want, right? And I come to you and I'm like, Big E's, hey man, I know this is what you collect. I kind of have this here, and say I'm trying to go for maybe, let's say your Golden Age, Captain Marvel, right? Our Marvel family, right?
Yeah.
And I know you're trying to get rid of it. I see you trying to sell it or trade it, whatever. And I come to you, and I'm like, hey, check it out, man. I got a couple books you might be interested in. I know you're into Batman Beyond. I got Batman Beyond right here, #1. I also got a Batman Superman annual. I have that, and then I got a couple other little modern shit here. Maybe this here. Now, would you go ahead and possibly take? Now, let's not go with because we're boys. Let's go with I'm just a random YouTuber who's hitting you up for the first time. You know what I mean? Like, what would you do in an instant like that? If I, as a random YouTuber, came up and said some stuff to you like that, like, hey, I got some stuff, and this is stuff that you're interested in. Not like as in you want that now, because you already have it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they're shooting stuff at you that you do take like in. What would you do in an instant like that?
If like, for example, if I didn't have Batman Beyond #1 and I didn't have the Superman annual that you're talking about, if I didn't have those books and I wanted them, he would have to give me enough books to make it a equal dollar value to the Golden Age book.
Right. So we do play value into this trade here. Now, if we're saying that we have this Silver Age book or what have you, and you have a Modern Age book that are equally, at the time, still have the same monetary value, that's an equal trade, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you have a variant that's 1 out of 100 or what have you, and you have the Silver Age book, and and both parties are okay with that. You still have monetary value. They're both valued at the same price. Merc had been saying that he wouldn't trade variants, but there is a case where they hold their value right now, current value at the time of the trade. Totally okay, right?
Yeah, I think so. I would trade. I would do a trade.
So basically, what is for traders, for people who are trading to other people that they may not know or first time trading, the one rule of thumb is if you're trading for a book that's worth 500, trade for the exact value. Yeah. Trade your books that are worth 500 at that exact time. If your books are not worth 500 at that time, but was last week, trade for that value is what you guys are saying. Trade for the value of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what about this? Go ahead. No, go ahead, Joe.
Nope. I lost my thought.
Okay.
Brain fart.
The next question on that is, say, Joe and I were friends, right? And want to do a trade with him. I have a book Joe's interested in. Joe has a book I'm interested in, right? I know my book only cost me $3.99, but I know Joe's book costs him $12, right? But my book really is worth $200, right? And Joe says, hey, I'll trade you this book for that book. And I'm like, well, this book's worth more. Would you do that? Would you say, well, this book is worth more, even though I know you paid $3.99 for it? You know what I mean?
I think you can't base one thing that I only can speak for what I do. I don't base a trade based on how much the other person paid for the book or I paid for the book. I'll base it on the value and how bad I want the book.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't. You can find it in a dollar bin. Use an example. For example, you look at our friend Tumua.
Tumua $6 Daredevil, huh?
Shout out to Tumua. He found New Mutants 98 for $1. You think he's gonna trade it for someone that paid $5 for another book? No, he's gonna trade it for the value of that New Mutants 98, regardless of what he paid for it. And that's how you can do it. It's the same. It's like when you when you strike gold, basically. You know, you pay this amount to get the gold, but you're gonna get it. You're not gonna give it up. You know, you're not gonna give it up for what you spend getting it. You're gonna give it up for what the market is saying it's worth at the time.
Do we have anything in the chat room regarding this? Anybody respond?
I can't see the chat.
They well, basically you got Penny saying trade for me is different because some shit you just can't get for the same price as you guys, being because he's overseas. You got Tat. He's asking whose smoke alarm going off. You see it? Look at him getting all of it. Hey, Tat. I like you to please stay out of my panel's personal business. Okay. Yeah, Panty's over there. Laws of the hunt. You know. Tat says, "Yep." Oh my God, this dickhead shows up. Oh Jesus Christ. Jeff, the I'm not the Mayor Johnson is here. Hey, I thought you had a real life. Okay. Cammy says she agrees with you, Biggs.
Oh, thank you, Cammy. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't see this chat, so I don't know who's on here. Oh.
Right now we have Hippie Nerds in there, we have Panties in there, Chats in there, Reader1717. What up, Cammy? Jeff, I have a real life Johnson. He's in there as well.
Ask Hippie Nerd how Hippie Chuck is doing. I haven't seen him in a while.
Hippie, how's Hippie Chuck doing? He hasn't said nothing. Chad says, "Hey, Frosty, what's up with that?" Nothing. We love you, Ted. Jeff Johnson, hey guys, what's going on? We're good. We're good. We're talking about trades. Well, it's something you never do, Jeff. Yeah, no, hey Cammy. No, I mean, these trades though, right? So far we've hit on everything, right? Trade for value, right? Try to trade up, not down.
Or
right?
at least equal.
Or at least equal. Panty, stop lying. You did not do a trade with Jeff. Yeah. What about people who back out of trades?
Well, mutual respect. To each their own. The thing goes sour. It doesn't mean that that your relationship with that person is strained. It's just if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Excuse my French, but I'm not going to say, oh, that guy's a jerk or something because he won't trade with me. You have to deal with it because not everybody has different tastes. I've had some things. Recently, I put up a trade video. I had one trade happen out of that. Out of 4 potential trades, a perfect situation. I had one good trade. The other ones where, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have the funds to mail the books. I've had people who didn't respond back after they said, hey, hold those books for me out of my stuff. I'm supposed to hold my books for this person. And they haven't responded after 3 weeks. Now, these are things that you have to deal with. Things that obviously do not finalize a trade. And it doesn't make them bad people. Maybe they got tied up at work or personal lives or something like that. Maybe it'll come together, maybe it won't. But these are things you have to deal with.
Right. And you also have trader's remorse.
Oh yes.
Yes. I know. We all.
Do we have time for that?
Yeah. we all have suffered trader's remorse.
No doubt. That one. Thanks for fucking cutting us deep on that one. Jesus. We're just getting over our trader's remorse. Just because you're having one right now.
Yes, yes.
Manny.
Yeah. But and to be honest, only because it's him that I'm good. Because Manny's like one of my best friends right now. So
right now,
it's
next
cool.
week I'm gonna be his best friend.
No. But only because like I said, he's one of my best friends. So I'm cool with him having that book, and I know he's gonna not get rid of it. I know he's gonna do his thing with it. He's gonna grade it. He's gonna get Bruce Timm to sign it. So I'm good.
What are you talking about? He just sold it last week when you were watching his eBay.
No, he didn't.
You got Paydays in here. He said I did trade with Jeff. I said stop lying. And he goes, video's coming soon, bitch. Look at this language that's in here. Look, damn Europeans are so violent. Right? And then you have Jeff Johnson. Look at him. He's trying to be all political. Yes, I did. I did a trade with you too, Frosty. Hey, Jeff, I don't remember that. Was I? Don't Bill Cosby me. Okay, did you? Come on, bud. Chat's saying he'll work for comics. Reader said, laugh out loud. Tat. Jeff Johnson said, I wanted. Oh shit, this is one right here was messed up. This right here was really messed up. Jeff Johnson. I feel bad for Jeff on this one. Jeff was mad about it. Jeff was so mad that Jeff didn't come around the hangouts for a while. He was so upset. I think he was crying in the corner at his house while his daughter was hitting him with plushy dolls. I wanted a book from Cody, and he backed out, and I had to deal with it. It just happens. That was a bum deal. That was an agreed deal. That deal was agreed, and a week, I think 2 weeks went by, and Cody goes, yeah, I don't really want to do it, Bubbles, and Jeff's like, what do you mean? He's like, we agreed, and I really don't want Bubbles, okay, Bubbles, and that was Jeff was so mad. Jeff was angry.
Yeah.
Payne says something about same as sellers. Yes, some sellers backing out. I'm assuming that's what he's talking about.
In defense for Cody, just for a second, I'd like to quote him. Bubbles. Yeah.
And you got reader 1717. She says the seller's remorse is something I'm guilty of big time. Well, yeah. Look at it. Camry does a lot of nice things for a lot of people, right? She always sends out more than what she should, because she's that kind of a person. So I would be having all kinds of. I would have remorse just receiving the stuff. If I asked for one book, she gave me like 3. I'm gonna be like, God dang. I'm gonna have to bake a cake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to send it overseas. With a bunch of other stuff in it. Band-aids to hurt because I know the pain's hurting.
It's not so much of a trade as it is an act of kindness. Or like, whoa,
right.
Hey.
Exactly, right. The next thing, I'm looking at Jeff Johnson here. There was one we did a trade. Jeff Johnson and I did a trade, and it was weird. It was a weird trade. It wasn't like your normal trade. I actually traded Jeff Johnson for an action figure. Right?
Hey.
It was a Spider-Gwen Marvel Legends action figure.
Yeah.
I traded. Those are like what, $20, right?
Yeah.
I think that's $20. Well, Jeff's into Batman. I told him, hey, Jeff, I can pick you up some Batman books. He's like, oh, okay. Now, I went and picked up these Batman books. Obviously, I could have easily picked up 3 Batman books, and that could have been equivalent of, $20. But I went above and beyond on it. I got a buttload to help him with his run. Now, that's just me because that's the kind of person I am, and this is Jeff. He didn't have to trade the toy, considering that it is a harder toy to find. So I valued the toy higher than the 20 that it was they paid at Target, Walmart, wherever we got it. I put the value at about 40 to 50, and that's about what I spent on all those books.
Cool.
So with comic collecting for us, would you trade books for a toy, or would you trade a toy for books?
I've done that already. Back in the day, I used to trade my G1 Transformers for comic books.
Okay.
And I also received comic books for toys. I traded a Jetfire G1 Transformer for Thanos Quest, book 1 and 2. Yeah, and that's how I lost it. That's how I lost it the first time, and ever since I did that, it was trader's remorse. That was one of them. But I've sold toys for comic books. I've traded figures for comic books. I received an Optimus Prime, nice one. It wasn't a G1. It was an aftermarket one, but it was a very detailed one for almost a whole run of Amazing Spider-Man.
Nice. Now, just so everybody knows, if you have an Optimus Primal or a Hot Rod Transformer or a Rodimus Prime Transformer? Let me know. I'll trade some comics for it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is where the whole spirit of collecting comes into play. You know, it benefits both parties. It doesn't have to be comic book for comic book, one for one book. It could be, you know, multiple books for one big book. It's the spirit of collecting, and this is what's great about trading. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
everybody gets what they want they want within reason, and it's a beautiful thing. You know, people don't have to spend so much money. If something's out there, both parties needs, why not?
Right.
Yeah. Like me and Joe traded. You don't mind me bringing it up, right?
Yeah, that's great.
It was a wonderful trade because at that time, Miss Marvel #1, first appearance of Carol Danvers, that was one of my top list book for 20. You know when we did the 2016 top 10 list that we wanted.
So that my list.
Yep, that was on it, and he reached out to me. He says, "Hey, I got an extra copy. Would you be interested in trading?" I was like, "Yeah, send me the pics." You know, it was in the condition that I was okay with, and I started. You know, I didn't know what he wanted, so I just sent him a bunch of pictures, a bunch of different books, and we worked out a good deal. You know, we worked out a good trade. I thought it was a good trade. You know,
right? You know, it's like I could have just. This is a point that I wanted to come to, where I can hold that above somebody's head, saying, you know, there's a movie coming out, there's a trailer, yada yada yada. You know how much this book is worth? No. If I want to go help somebody out, I notice somebody's got something on their top 10 list, and I've got an extra copy. That's also the spirit of trading. You know, if I find something else was trade, you know, I could have said that book is skyrocketing right now. It all depends on the purse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
And I finished that list, except the last. I didn't finish it. I'm missing 3, but it's 3 books that I knew I wouldn't get this year.
Hey, that's all right. You still got till what?
I got 7. 7 out of 10.
That's excellent. I think I have 1 left. 1 left. That's good.
And
Even if I don't get it. Fine.
And I think that right there, the lists, because we are coming to the end of the year. Tune in next week for the list talks.
Next
we go. It's definitely going to be for the list talk. And next week, if we can have Mr. Comic Fan back on, we'll have him back on. And if Biggies wants to come back on next week as well, we can finish this whole discussion because we are at that hour mark.
There you go.
We don't like to go further than that. Merc couldn't come back on. It wasn't letting him come back on. I even sent him an invite. So Merc says, hallelujah, holla back. His breast implants are doing fine. He does not have to ice them anymore. So he's good. Cool. He's good. Okay. So tune in next week. We're going to finish this chat about our top 10 lists. Because Joe, Comicfan and I, we've actually been having these chats off airs about our lists. And it's very interesting. So with that being said, we appreciate everybody that is in the chat. Everybody that stopped by to hang out with us. I know it's only 5 viewers, but we don't care. As long as we reach 5 of you, or 2 of you, or 1 person in this, and you guys felt it was a good show, and you guys enjoy it, we're going to keep doing it. Regardless, even if we have 0, we're going to keep doing it. So
keep each other company.
Exactly. Right. So for myself, GENEPAULACEPETER, who's not here, is getting his hair plugs in. Merc, who's not here, we thank you. Joe, you have anything to say before we leave?
No, man, I had an excellent haul today. That's pretty much it. No reason for shout outs. You know, we shout out everybody all the time. Right? Good.
All right, Biggies.
Just, you know, shout out to you guys, Joe, Merc, Joe again, yeah, both Joes, GENEPAULACEPETER, everybody in the chat. This was fun. I love the serious talks. You know, I love doing things like that. And that's it. And it looks like I could be on probably next week too, buddy.
Cool. With that,
thanks for having me.
Go check out Huey's Comics, Blasted or Static. Check out Marky 316. Those are 2 people that hooked me up with some stuff. Go check out the GENEPAULACEPETER. Go ahead and check out the New York Warriors on Monday nights and all those other little bastards that are on that show. So,
you know what? I'm sorry, real quick. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to AG Surfer. He hooked me up with a really nice random act of kindness. He gave me that Clark Kent pop figure that I wanted, which was cool. Thank you. And shout out to Big O. Big O hooked me up with my first Stan signature. Never had one in the collection, and he hooked me up with a original art piece.
Are you bragging again?
Yeah. No, I just wanted to not brag and just I just want to say thank you as many times as possible. You know.
I hear you. All right. So right on to everybody. Y'all have a good one.